what's up, y'all? Y'all know my slogan. I don't know it all, but I know what I've been through. I'm actually doing a hookah today, y'all. Hold on, pardon me. Okay, now, today we're going to be decoding Tory Lanez newest album, Daystar, which was named after him. His name is Daystar Peterson, and yeah, that's where it comes from. Now, everyone was shocked when this album came out because they assumed, like myself, that he was going to go on IG Live and just tell it all. But nope, he dropped a 17-track project, and I actually liked it. Now, everybody else fronting like they didn't like it, we cancel him, whatever. Now, once again, he didn't go into any detail about what happened that infamous night, but what he did do was kind of beat around the bush and put bits and pieces in a few bars. You had to piece it together yourself to understand it. Now, for my slow ones in the back, I got y'all. For the tracks that stood out to me concerning the situation, I decoded it and broke it down to what he said, just so you wouldn't have to. Now, I seen a post on Instagram saying, imagine trying to capitalize off shooting a black woman to sell music. Alright? Now, I got one better. Imagine being publicly humiliated without anyone hearing your side of the story and somewhat blackballed, so no one wants to associate themselves with you. So you put out a tape briefly touching certain topics because you know the streams are going to go up because everyone is nosy as hell. How about that one? Alright? You see where I'm going with this? And for the ones that were saying that Tory going broke because he isn't doing shows and no one is messing with him, in one of the songs he expressed that while everyone was making fun of him, he was making money off of streams on Spotify, so he was good. Alright? Now that's a good thing about streaming because the artists got more, I want to say more leverage, you know, where they can actually control things and they can actually get paid their money for their songs. Now, not to mention, because you know the plot thickens, man. Just today, a fashion associate chimed in on the situation and posted something on Instagram saying this. Now, her name is @GirlNation_, and she said this. It read, I want to say this, and I won't say anything about this. I provided clothes for Megan when I first opened my boutique, and there's been plenty of times when Tory was around Megan, and she get drunk and becomes very disrespectful and physically abusive. Okay, it gets crazy. She said, I'm not saying that Megan is lying about what happened because I wasn't there. I was only in her condo the previous day when I dropped clothes off to her, and she was indeed drunk, and again very aggressive to Tory. I feel that it's three sides to every story because something is not right. And before y'all start that whole protect black women, I am a black woman. Megan is heaven sent and most deaf and amazing person, but she's still grieving her grandmother and mother, and she abuses alcohol and it turns her into a different person. But you guys will see when Kelsey speaks, and she will be speaking soon. I saw yesterday as I dropped clothes off to her, but she has a story to tell, and I just want to say it. It ain't far from what Tory is saying. Now, that's how things get a little crazy. The plot is starting to thicken. Now, Kelsey, for y'all that don't know, is the best friend of Megan, or was the best friend of Megan, who I think was reportedly messing with Tory Lanez first. Okay? Now, like I said, the plot is starting to thicken, man. It's a known fact that a lot of people accuse Meg of being drunk within the industry. It's a lot of people that came out and said that she just get wild drunk, whether it's at industry parties, whatever party she at, she gets drunk. So, without further prolonging the situation, let's get straight to it. Now, I'm going to go through the song so y'all can see for yourself and point out certain areas to where I feel that he was alluding to certain things, but he just didn't say it because he couldn't say it. But I'm going to point out, you know, some rumors that he actually answered for us. So first, we're going to start off with the first song. It's called Money Over Fallouts. Now, it's pretty much a compilation of people speaking on the situation and just humiliating him. Like I said in the last video, he touched on a few things, but nothing too specific. He said that Meg's people were trying to frame him and everyone teaming up on him. Also stated that it's people who he gave features and he's shocked at the people who actually had negative things to say about him because he actually had personal relationships with these people. Now, Meg wrote a fake statement on the affidavit. That's what he's saying in the song as well. He also cleared the rumor up of him being deported. He said that was a lie. He cleared up rumors about his height as well, saying that he's not 5'3", he's actually 5'7". Alright, then he had a nice little bar that came after that. Something about him, if he stood on his wallet, you could see his stars from heaven. Whatever. Oh, and then he goes on to say, how you get shot in your foot and it don't hit no bones or tendons. And let's be real, he actually got a point about that as well. But this is some of the things that people are not investigating themselves. They just taking Meg's story off of face value, and I don't know. And he threw a jab at Jay-Z saying, I don't give a damn if Shorty knew Jigga. I was taught to beat the block. Well, we all know that's a line Jay-Z used in the song with Beyonce when he said, you know I used to beat the block, now I bees the block. Okay? So he also said, quote unquote, I would never put you in danger, and if I did, you would have said it when you seen the cops. So I'm assuming that when the cops came, that there's no real report because she didn't say anything perhaps. Now, I don't know what he means by this because like I say, he didn't get specific. He just put bits and pieces out there, and you got to piece it together yourself. Now, on to the next song. It's called A Woman. He was more like the singing, melodic, just like, I don't know. It was like one of those just songs, that Tory Lanez do. He was expressing how hurt he is, and I'm guessing from the situation, he's expressing how he feels betrayed. All right? He's saying his heart is now cold and explaining how everything was just good, and he will still accept her back if she's willing to come back. And if you ask me, that's a little weird because I don't know, like all this going on, how she's trying to paint him and destroy his character. I don't think he should get back with her, but that's a different topic. Now, on to the next song. In the song Friends Become Strangers, he basically saying that they were friends until she started catching feelings and taking it more serious, and that's when things started to escalate. So I'm assuming that it wasn't his intentions to get serious. They were just having a little fling, and she caught feelings and got a little serious. And, as dudes, he probably just went along with it. Now, he also goes on to say they both know what happened, and whatever the true story is, whatever it is, that they pretty much both know what's going on. All right. He was also saying that people just taking a side because they hating, and they also want to get closer. And come on, we all know that that's the truth because I see dudes coming out the woodworks that's speaking on Tory, and you don't even know his side of the story, and you just speaking on how much you hate him, how much this, much that. It's kind of crazy to me. All right. He also went on about how both of their mothers died, and he would confide in her as well, how she would cry on his shoulder sometime, or he would hold her as she would sporadically just cry out of nowhere randomly, but he understood because basically they both lost their mothers. And he was just expressing the personal side of the relationship that a lot of people didn't even know about. A lot of us didn't even know that they were even together. All right? We seen pics of them doing like sexual, funny, playful things, and she would be at his house, and I don't know, her demeanor, she gave off that weird demeanor like it was just a fling, so everybody thought that that's what it was. But he's expressing that no, it was more so a relationship. All right, so now on to the next song. The song is called Sorry But I Had To. All right, he's kind of telling it all where he says a few things like he was being threatened not to say nothing about Roc Nation, and Meg knows the truth, but she wouldn't say it because it'll put him in the right and have her looking crazy. And he also talked about her receiving money to keep pushing this narrative that he shot her. Yeah, it gets crazy. Now, he went at a bunch of people who he never even replied to, but dissed them, such as Asian Doll, Dream Doll, Chance the Rapper, J.R. Smith, Bun B, Masika, a couple DJs, blogs, and the list goes on. He also goes on to allude that it's funny how once he recovered his masters and went independent, as y'all know, he was on Interscope and then he got off during quarantine radio where he was celebrating, he threatened to tell some secrets before all of this happened. He's saying it's funny how all of a sudden this came about when he asked for his masters back. And he went as far as comparing this scenario to Prince and Michael Jackson. Now he does have a point because when they asked for their masters and when they were starting to preach about ownership, guess what? It was erased. All right. So now also, I forgot which song it was, but he also says that her whole camp knows that this is fake and she's doing it for money. And he also claimed that most of the people that publicly went out trying to humiliate him on social media actually has his number, which is crazy to me. And everyone's acting like they wanted to know what's really going on, but no one called his phone. And he also stated that everyone thinks he was hiding, but he wasn't even hiding. He was in Miami doing the things that he liked to do. He just couldn't talk about the case, so he decided to leave it alone. All right. He also stated that like most of us, we was wondering why is everybody jumping out the window to crucify him without even knowing the full story, but automatically picking sides. And at the end of the day, we know why. She's a female for one, and she's a female that a lot of these dudes want to smash. So they taking her aside randomly in hopes of getting closer. Also, once a gun is in the equation and you hear that a woman was shot by a man, you know the females are going to go crazy. So, not to mention, Meg quickly inserted the whole black men need to protect our black women bullcrap. So, you know how that go. He then went on to say that there was no conviction either, so how can y'all sit here and cancel him out? And that puts me, that puts in my mind of the college athletes who will lose contracts and endorsements over a fake, false accusation of a white girl lying and saying that the athlete raped her. Now they will find out that he's innocent, the athlete, but at the end of the day, the damage is already done. Endorsements is taken away and legacies are ruined, and then the female always walk off scot-free. It's not fair, and hopefully in the future there's a law or something that'll prosecute the person for ruining someone's life with false accusations. Alright? On the tape, he also has a song called Look How God Works. And he basically said, why would I risk everything I worked so hard for to shoot a girl? And that is another thing we all thought when we first heard this. It just don't make sense, man. But I'm gonna leave that in y'all hands, and I'm gonna leave that for y'all to do research, and y'all find out what y'all want to find out on your own time. But, like I said, it does not make sense. Now, on to the next song, Queen and Slim. He starts to touch a little closer on the situation and tells us that whatever transpired, him, Meg, and Kylie was in the pool together. He said Kylie was looking like a quote-unquote angel. Now, what I got from it, to me, was that maybe he was flirting, being a little flirtatious while Meg was there, because he then said that Meg left the pool, then was rambling, going crazy, making a whole scene and going off, and pretty much she was very drunk. Now, it's a rumor going on amongst everyone in the industry where everyone says that Meg loves to drink and she gets very drunk and starts acting crazy. I don't know how true that is, but once again, where there's smoke, there's fire, and if more than one person says it, then yeah. Now, as the song played out, he kind of hints towards the fact that he did do something, but he didn't shoot her. Okay? So like I said, he never got into very clear detail, but I'm just going off of what I took from it and what he says. And like I said, it's not much that he's kind of giving us. He's like, pussyfooting around, like around certain things. But it is what it is, because I understand that he probably just can't talk about the situation. So we're going to move to the next song, which was Bittersweet. Now, on this song, he kind of targets Kalani in a few bars because, as we all know, if I'm not mistaken, she was taking him off that song that they had together when all this first came out. So Tory also went at JoJo on a song because she was another one that took him off a song that they did, that they had done together. But Tory's stance was, your label paid me to do the song, so I already got paid, and plus y'all contacted me. I did not need y'all, y'all needed me. Then he began to go on and express how it's crazy because he actually held Kalani's newborn baby. He said they would stay up late and talk on the phone about their relationships and their exes and how they knew each other for like 6 years. So he basically was surprised that she would even go that far because he feels that they had a personal friendship, not just business. Okay? Then he went on to also express that you haven't heard him because he's told by lawyers not to say anything publicly. But at the same time, he's being slayed by others and his peers because he's not saying anything, and then in the other breath his lawyers is telling him just don't do it. So I could understand that it's kind of hard, you see what I'm saying, because it's understandable when you have a high profile case, just like mobsters would tell you, or any dude that's been in any type of legal trouble, your lawyer always tell you to stay off the phone, stay off of social media, and just don't talk about it because anything you say or do can be used against you in the future in the courts. So that's understandable, and I don't know, people that's not street savvy or haven't been in the streets or been in any type of trouble, maybe I wouldn't understand. But that's why I'm here, to lighten the situation so y'all can see things from another point of view. Alright, moving on to the next song, Jokes on Me. Now this song also put a light on the rumor that Tory was messing with a friend first, because it was said that Tory was messing with Meg's best friend first, and I think that was a Kelsey girl. Alright, then Meg took him from her, and on that song he actually says that he was messing with the best friend and had Meg and he said if Meg would have just told the best friend that they was messing around, then the best friend might have been cool with it if they would have just kept it real. So I don't know if the friend give off vibes that she's cool with threesomes, who knows, but that's an industry where people do crazy things. And, you know, he's paid, he's young, he's black, got a lot of money. She's pretty much nobody. I'm pretty sure that she will be with it. It is what it is. But he's saying that Meg did not keep it real. Neither one of them kept it real. And he actually explained that he was wrong for that. And he kind of gave a little apology to the best friend for alluding to him knowing that he messed up. Because now, look at what he's in for messing with Meg. Maybe if he would have just messed with the best friend, none of this would be happening. I mean, it is what it is. Now, moving on to the song, I Care For You. He goes on to speak about black blogs that put out stories to solely damage the black community. The most notable one he called out was the Shade Room. He then went on to express that a lot of these blogs have agenda to destroy our own black successful entertainers. And he also said that the Shade Room is funded and overseen by a white man by the name of Bryce Roberts. Now, I can't lie, I feel him on this one because even I said to someone before that a lot of these blogs have changed. They went from reporting news about celebrity relationships and giving out tea and just gossip and other hood stuff to now, every time you turn around, some black person getting killed on camera and they have the video, or someone got arrested, or some tragedy is striking amongst our community, black community of course. Now, it's not the same and it seems very agenda driven. I could say that. I could personally attest to the Shade Room spreading false or just negative stuff because if you peep, their comment section just filled with people giving their feedback and people really use that blog as a source of their own information. They don't go to try to see how true something is. They go to the Shade Room for all their information, for everything, and they hold it as law. Alright? And also, they got like 20 plus million followers. From rappers, athletes, actors, entertainers, you name it. Now, the Shade Room was a good platform before, but it blew up after the guy Bryce Roberts invested $100,000 into it, and ever since then, it's been on top of the blog world. No, you got your ball alert and all that, but I don't think it's touching the Shade Room. They got a whole little entourage that be on red carpets now, and it's just they got a podcast if I'm not mistaken. It's not your typical blog site. All right. Now, a black lady by the name of Angelica Nwandu, I hope I said it right. She started it, but I'm assuming that these days she's just the face of it. They play a big part of this cancel culture that came up out of nowhere, which cancels a lot of our own people who made it and became extremely successful, but end up getting canceled by any little situation that they come across. And to be honest, this song was probably the best one substance-wise because I can't front. The whole tape is hard. But he actually came through on this song because he it felt good. It felt like he was talking about some topics and he wasn't just talking the whole, I get money, I get girls, I get women, blah, blah, blah. Alright, he came through with good concepts and he touched briefly on certain topics that we all wanted to know about. Now, in the song In the Air, once again, he tells us about his lawyers telling him not to speak on anything, but as they telling him not to speak on anything, his own peers are making a fool of him on social media, telling him that he needs a reply. And as of lately, we didn't know who actually reached out to him until T.I. actually said that he reached out to him. And I don't know. They pick a whole weird time to start doing this, man, because election time is here. I hope it's not a distraction, but with everything going on, you never know. But like I said, I find it weird because if these people really had his number and was able to get in contact with him, instead of going on IG, you could have just called that man. Simple. Now that says a lot about the times we living in because people rather just go on social media and look like they're doing something. They want to look like they're part of something. They want to look like that they're helping the cause, but they're not. They're just destroying our culture time after time. All right? Then on that same song, Tory expresses how he feels about the cancel culture, which he feels was placed on us by the higher ups, quote unquote, which targets black successful people that we look up to all our life. And it's kind of ironic, but he said that it's not even whites or Spanish or anybody else trying to cancel him out. It's actually his own black people more than anything. And to be honest, I kind of agree with that because that's all you see. You just see black people tearing down all our icons, making memes, making jokes, and it is what it is. Alright? He then went on to say that he has secrets that he knows about Interscope that he can't talk about. I wonder what those secrets are, and I wonder, does it play a part in what's going on with his situation? Because I can attest to it as well. Right after he starts saying that he has secrets about Interscope and he knows this and he knows that, like a week later, this whole situation transpired, and now guess what? Nobody want to deal with Tory Lanez. Alright, so I broke down a few songs, for y'all. Hopefully y'all go and check them out yourself, and y'all can make out what y'all want to make for it. But like I said, I'm always the one that try to jump in front of the gun and make sure that I decode things for y'all to where y'all can see for yourself, so y'all don't have to waste y'all time. So that's it for this decode. Now, y'all go and check out the album because it's a good body of work. The only bad part is that it's tainted by this whole situation. Now, I know a lot of y'all may think that a lot of the scenarios stated in this video may be quote-unquote conspiracy theories, but I urge you, if you feel that way, to do your own research. Everyone that asks or get their masters always end up in some type of public humiliation. And it's no coincidence. And not only that, but the story that Meg has pushed out have been way too inconsistent for me. Alright? In the court of law, that's not accepted, so why should we accept it? Now, perfect example, Spotify offered Joe Budden an amount of money for his podcast show, but Joe Budden declined it. Basically he was saying it was too low for what he was bringing to the table because he started the thing by himself, and he feel he needs to be compensated a little bit more, and he wants to be involved a little more. I can't blame him. Now, saying that, I don't know. The fact that he declined before, it didn't make sense, but now it do. Alright, now, first of all, the blogs posted about him, and everyone antagonized him without even knowing what was going on. And then, the following week, guess what happened? An old ex he used to deal with came out the woodworks and said that he used to abuse her a lot. Like, come on, y'all. Like, it's, I don't know, it's beginning to be more than just a coincidence. Now, you remember when Prince tried to warn us in 2000 when he accepted an Artist for the Decade Award about these labels and how they get down. They do not want us owning our own stuff, y'all. If we owned our own masters and labels and whatever, they wouldn't make money, and that'll put us at the top. And guess what that will put them? At the bottom. Look at Michael Jackson. Years later, the same people that was on that TV show and that little documentary or whatever they did, when they made allegations against him, once he died, they came out and said that they was just lying, and they feel guilty about it. But this is what I meant by the damage is already done. Now, Michael stayed in headlines because he had a percentage of Sony Records and he owned the Beatles catalog. Do you know what type of money that is? That's the type of money you cannot go to the bank to pull out, because guess what? They don't even have that much money in the bank. Alright? And he had his own masters, if I'm not mistaken, too. So you know that boy was eating. That's why you kept seeing Michael Jackson in the tabloids every time you turn around. They didn't like that, and they didn't stop scrutinizing this man until he was dead. And even after he died, they came out with a docu-series that was pretty much antagonizing him, and the man was dead. And Michael even said that, quote unquote, they are trying to kill me numerous of times. Alright, so like I said, man, the only part of this whole album Tory lost me on was the fact that he seemed like after all this, he would still take her back and he's willing to fix things. And that's the part that I find crazy. Something like this to me is no coming back from, but to each his own. Alright, that's my decoded take on this album. If you like what you heard, give this video a like. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Hit that bell so you're notified every time I drop new content. And remember, as long as you keep watching, I'm going to keep dropping, and I'm out.